Have you ever been driving down the road with your eyes completely closed in full traffic and made it to where you were going without ever opening your eyes? Probably not. But that's how it feels like I've been running my diabetes prior to getting on the Dexcom and the Tandem. And let me explain that a little bit more. When you are only doing your checking your blood glucose with a glucose monitor, um, and you do it, 4 times a day like they recommend, or like me, sometimes I would do it once a day, maybe twice a day. It was kind of like closing my eyes and driving down the street and hoping I wasn't going to hit anything, right? Because if you close your eyes while you're going down the road and you don't see the red light that comes in front of you, you're going to get into an accident. If you start veering off the road, but you don't feel it because it's such a slight veer, you're going to hit something. You're going to hit a wall. You're going to hit something. And let me tell you, in my diabetes, I have hit that wall in the past in the form of the eye surgeries that I've spoken about in a past video. My name is Ryan Hodges. I encourage you to go back and look at those other videos to hear about my story with type 1 diabetes. I've been a type 1 diabetic for almost 35 years now, and I have made a huge change in my life about 3 months ago, and am so excited to be able to tell you that my A1C, I just got it tested this last week I went to a general practice doctor to talk about something unrelated to diabetes. It had been over a year since I've had blood work done with that doctor, so they wanted to run a full blood panel. We did, and my A1C was a 6.0. Yes, you heard that right, a 6.0. My last A1C that I talked about in another video was a 10.7 that was done in the first couple weeks of January. This is amazing to me. I'm so happy. I was just like ecstatic when I heard it. So I wanted to come on here and tell you guys just like, hey, this is what I did to do that. Like and subscribe to my channel so that you can continue to get this motivation for changing your life with diabetes or those around you that might have the same problems. So the biggest change that I've made in my diabetes was on December 27th. I met with Jordan, a pump trainer here in Mesa, Arizona, to get hooked onto my Tandem T-Slim pump that links up with my Dexcom G6. In the past, I've been on pumps that linked up with a continuous glucose monitor, and I did not like it as much because there was a lot more that went behind like making the glucose monitor work properly. You had to calibrate it twice a day. When you were running in auto mode, so it was trying to use an algorithm, it would ask you to input a blood sugar sometimes 3 or 4 times a day, and sometimes those were in the middle of the night. So in the middle of the night, I sleep very hard at times, and I wouldn't wake up. And so it would kick me out of auto mode. I would wake up, my blood sugar would be high. I'd have to fix it. And I still felt like my blood sugar was doing one of these while I was supposed to be running a lot more normal, and it just wasn't working out. So I stopped using it altogether and just thought, okay, cool, I'm just going to figure this out myself. Well, that didn't really go as planned, and I just didn't have the best control of myself. So during that meeting with Jordan, I learned about the Juicebox podcast, and I've mentioned the podcast, I've mentioned it in other videos. It is a fantastic resource for you if you're a type 1 diabetic and you're looking for help with managing your diabetes. The biggest thing that it taught me was to not be afraid of using insulin. I've never really been afraid of using insulin, but I didn't really know what that meant. And I've just learned so much. And number one, I learned that I need to do my insulin well in advance of when I eat. And I've talked about this in videos too. Like a lot of this I've talked in videos, but I'm just so excited to like share what this is, because to me, it is just incredible that in 3 months, I was able to lower my A1C by 4.7 points or percentage points and get it to a point that is better than what they want you to be at your doctor's appointments, which is they want you to be at a 7%. So I'm well on my way to being like the best that I've ever been in my diabetes. I want to be better than a 6%. I want to be lower. And I'm going to shoot for that. And it might not happen in the next 3 months, but who knows? We'll see what happens. All I know is that I'm going to continue to try. Hard work really pays off. And it's not even that hard once you get a hang of what it is that you need to do. Pre-bolus for your meals. Make sure that you know what it is that you're eating and that different foods affect your blood sugar differently. Learn some of these things and you will be on your way to success with diabetes, whether you're on a pump or whether you're doing MDI or you have a CGM or not. Like if you don't have a CGM, just check your blood sugar a little bit more often. And you might be able, you won't have the same like 5-minute intervals of blood sugar readings, but you'll have more to go off of. And so even if it won't be like closing your eyes driving down the road, but it'll be like sneezing, right? Like, when you sneeze, you close your eyes and you take your eyes off the road for a minute. It's kind of along those lines, right? Like keep your eyes open as best you can with your diabetes and you're going to be able to see these things. Looking at the CGM graph shows me what my blood sugar is doing all the time. It shows me the trend that it's going on more than the number that's on that's showing on the graph. The graph shows me which way my blood sugar is going. So it might show me that my blood sugar is 97. And if I look at the last couple of data points on the graph, it shows me that, oh, that's a 97, but it's on an uphill slope. So I can pay attention to it and I can make sure that it doesn't continue to go on that uphill slope and get to a point where I don't want it to be. Guys, I look forward to continuing down this path and to continue talking to you. And I have a lot more content that I want to put out here about why I got to the point where I was before I met with Jordan and learned about the tandem and how it worked and how it can like better my life with diabetes, before he introduced me to the podcast and the podcast Facebook group that's out there that is just like full of amazing people. My life went through roller coaster after roller coaster of different things with my diabetes. And I want to share those things with you. And I got videos planned that I want to talk to you more about that stuff. But I had to take a minute to say that this is what my A1C came back as today. And it hasn't even been a full 3 months since I've had my last A1C done. It's fantastic to me. I'm so excited to share that with you guys. The other thing I'm excited about, and this is not something I'm going to do forever, but like I said, I've been on the Tandem T-Slim pump. Well, today I was able to get a free trial 1-month sample of the Omnipod pump. So now this is the Dexcom, and this is reading my blood sugar all the time. This is now what is giving me my insulin. They work together. They're reading off of each other. This is giving me my basal insulin all day long, and it's tubeless. There's no tubes. I can go in the shower without having to unhook my insulin. I can go swimming. I can do everything that you could do and not ever have to disconnect insulin. So I don't have to worry about not having that functionality there. The algorithm that it works with it controls your blood sugar great. Right now, my blood sugar is 126. It's a little bit higher than what I would want it to be normally, but it's still well in range of what it should be. And it's because of the algorithm, and it's only the first day. And this algorithm learns, it takes 48 hours to learn you. So in 48 hours from now, 50 hours from now, that 126 is going to be a 110. It's going to be lower because the algorithm is going to learn me as I continue to wear it more. I'm not planning on wearing that pump for a long time. I got it for the sole purpose of being able to go to like the Great Wolf Lodge with my kids and going out in the middle of the tide pool and being able to not have to take off my insulin. And so I'll use it as a supplementary pump, if you will, and only take it off when we're going on those kind of trips or doing those kind of things. Just as a little idea for me and for you of what a 6.0 A1C is. And I've done this in the past on the channel. I'm going to do it again right now. If I type it to figure out what my average blood sugar was, to get to a 6.0, that is, sorry, I'm typing in numbers to figure it out, 126 126, an average blood sugar of 126 gets you to an A1C of 6.0. That's crazy because 2.5 months ago, my A1C was a 10.7, and that means that my average blood sugar was like 278, guys. 278 equals an A1C, maybe it was 268. 260, down to 126 average over 3-month period. It's just incredible. And looking at my Dexcom Clarity app that shows me what it is, over the last 30 days, my average blood sugar is 110. Over the last 90 days on Dexcom Clarity is 111. So I really do anticipate being a little bit lower than a 6% when like a true 3 months actually happens. And maybe into the 4th or 5th month. I don't know. I'm just excited. I'm going to be back on here. I'm going to continue talking about it, and I'm going to continue to tell you guys where I've been in the past with my diabetes so that you know you're not alone, because I know there's people out there that struggle with diabetes and that struggle with gaining control over it, and I want to be here to help you guys with that. I am just about done with the day for work. It is Easter weekend. I wish you all a happy Easter, and I will look forward to talking to you guys soon. Thanks. Bye.